Om Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tamhadevamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamam Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartibhyo Vanshashibhyo Mahabhyo Namo Gurubhya Sarvopaplavarahita Prajnanagana Pratyagartho Brahmaivasmi Brahmaivasmi. Vedantarth Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohatvanta Divakaraya Bhagavat Pada Vidham Vibhrate Tasmai Bhashyakృతే Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. When Arjuna says that I do not see anything that can quell the fire which is roasting me, which is scorching me, not even winning this war, nor even attaining the heavenly worlds, if I died fighting, the reward would be the reward of following one's swadharma, one's own duty till the end of the life. The reward is attainment of heavenly world, a celestial world. And Arjuna says, though I may attain such celestial world too, or just not attainment of celestial world, he says, even if I was to be gifted, even if I was to be made the king of celestial worlds too, the misery in which I am suffering will not be doused. And therefore, Hey Shri Krishna, you show me the way. Do not neglect me. Do not ignore me, because I am your Shishya. I am your disciple. And it is a rule, dharma, that anybody who seeks refuge should be given assurance. That is the reason why whenever you go to the Hindu temples, where you have specific idols of the deities, you will very often see the deity raising his or her hand. And this is a gesture of assurance, abhaya mudra, giving an assurance. So anyone who comes to seek refuge, shelter, help, should be first given refuge, and I am your Shishya. Shishyahamte Vam Prapannam, and I have surrendered myself to you. And therefore, O Shri Krishna, protect me, show me the path, impart that knowledge by which this fire will be doused. Okay? But over here, when Dhritarashtra heard that Arjuna is now refusing to fight the war, now he said that there should be something Arjuna should not fight. That means it is a kind of, what do they say, affirmation to Dhritarashtra's ambitions, perverted ambitions of having the kingdom, maintaining the throne, position, wealth, which has been taken away from the Pandavas unjustly. Therefore, now, even before Dhritarashtra's heart can start dancing with little joy, Sanjaya does not allow any of these, what do they say, Dhritarashtra's evil intentions to stay even for a moment. And so now comes Sanjaya Vacha. Sanjaya Vacha. Eva Muktva Rishikeshah Gudakeshah Parantapaha Nayotsya Iti Govindam Nayotsya Iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Bahuvaha Uktva Tushnim Bahuvaha Eva Muktva. He Govinda, Eva Muktva. This is what he told Rishikesha. So now Sanjaya is giving, very silent messages. Who is Rishikesha? The one who is the Swami, overlord of the Indriyas is called as Rishikesha. It means to say the one who is the inner controller, the one who controls the Rishikas, the Indriyas, the Shendriyas, all the 10 organs, Karmendriya and Jnanendriyas. So that's Swami, because Arjuna had mentioned, do not forget, Arjuna mentions Siddhanti Mamagatrani. Arjuna had said, my limbs are falling imped. Imped is the word? Limb. Okay, limb. Limb. I don't know, I brought it somewhere. Never mind. But you understand. my limbs are falling limb. And because now even the hands are incapable of holding the great bow called as Gandiva. This is the bow with which Arjuna had fought even with Bhagavan Shiva. And Bhagavan Shiva was so pleased with Arjuna's prowess with the bow and the arrow that he and Arjuna's devotion and his viveka, that Bhagavan Shiva blessed him with Pashupatastra, with a missile. Because, just anybody who is silly, unintelligent, dull-witted person, if a missile like Pashupatastra is handed over to such a person, he can bring about mass destruction, and therefore one requires viveka, discrimination, to use, how to stop, how to withdraw when the time is inappropriate for it to be used. All these things have to be considered. And Bhagavan Shiva now was so pleased, propitiated with Arjuna's prowess, his devotion, his level-headedness, that he gave Arjuna the boon of Pashupata Astra. This is that Gandiva. Today Arjuna says, my hands are falling so limp that this Gandiva, I am incapable of even holding it. It slips from my hands. So now Arjuna already had told, my hands, legs, everything is fallen. I'm losing control over it, and you are Rishikesha. So to whom has he spoken to? He has spoken to Rishikesha, the one who can bring life back into these organs. Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptam sanjeevayatyakila. What is that? Sanjeevayatyakila swadhamna. This is the very first opening verse in which Dhruva praises the Lord. Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptam, the one who having entered enlivens my speech and the organs of action, mind, pranas, everything. Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubbham. To that Purusha, to that Bhagwan who enlivens everything to him. Namaskar, my prostrations. So Arjuna has spoken to Rishikesha, and that is what he has suggested to Dhritarashtra by using the word Rishikesha. He does not say, thus he spoke to Shri Krishna, he spoke to Madhava. He says he has spoken to Rishikesha Bhagavan. Who he? Gudakesha. Gudakesha is an epithet of Arjuna. Gudaka means sleep. The one who has control over the sleep, Arjuna has that. Control over the sleep does not mean that one can go to sleep anywhere, anytime. That is also one part of that sleep. But another part is that one should be able to wake up also whenever he wants. That is control over sleep. Gudakesha. Another meaning of Gudakesha is that one who has tied the hair as a knot on the top, because now you're fighting the war, you do not want those hair to come in between, in your mouth or eyes and all that, because of the breeze and all. But Durga, when she goes to fight, she leaves her hair open, a different thing. They have different policies of fighting anyway. So Gudakesha. And Arjuna is Parantapa, which means he who scorches the enemies. Just his presence over there on the battlefield is enough to create panic for them to run away, as if one runs away from fire. Parantapa. So that is Arjuna. Such Arjuna, who is Gudakesha, who is Parantapa, speaks to Rishikesha. Hey Dhritarashtra, do not allow your hopes, evil hopes, to blossom now. No. Nayotsya, but what did this Arjuna, who is Parantapa, and Gudakesha Arjuna speak to Rishikesha Bhagavan? He says, no, by the way, do you know the presiding deity of Rishikesha is this? There is a temple that is actually the main deity. It seems to the principal deity of this town is this Rishikesha Bhagavan. Now the mispronunciation has happened and people call it Rishikesh. It is Rishikesha. It so happened one day I was crossing this Ramchula, and this local, what do they call this, tourist guides were explaining some people, this place is Rishikesh because the rishis used to come over here for a haircut. Rishikesh. It is not Rishikesh, it is Rishikesh Bhagavan. Okay, so that Bharat Mandir is there, that is Rishikesh Bhagavan. So to him, Arjuna speaks. But what did he say? Nayotsye, aham nayotsye, I will not fight. Aham nayotsye, nayotsye iti govindam, hey Govinda. Govinda means, now the go word has got two, three meanings, and all of them are applicable over here. Govinda means the one who is the protector of the earth. Go, the cow represents the earth too. So Go means earth, the one who is the protector of this earth, the one who is the protector of the cows, and one who is the protector of the Indriyas. Govinda. Hey Govinda, aham na yotsye. I shall not fight, I am not fight. Iti uktva, thus having said this much, now Arjuna is already emotionally exhausted. And what happens? Tushnimbhapuvaha, Arjuna falls silent, becomes silent, keeps mum. Tushnimbhapuvaha. Nirvyaparo jataha, which means did nothing more, not even speaking, didn't even shake his head or lift his eyes to look at the enemy lines or his own camp, nothing. Nirvyaparo jataha iva. Okay. Govinda Rishikesh Padabhyam Sarvashyatva Sarvashaktimatva Suchakabhyam Bhagavataha Tan Moha Apanodanam Anayasa Sadhyam Iti Suchitam. Bhagavataha Tan Moha. Now, by using these two epithets, which two epithets have been used in this particular verse for Shri Krishna? Rishikesha and Govinda. Madhusudana Saraswati says these two epithets are suggestive of what? Sarvashya, Sarvashaktimatva, Suchakabhyam. These are suggestive of Sarvashya, the one who is omniscient and omnipotent, Sarvashakti. So these two words, epithets, are giving away this meaning. Bhagavataha, and therefore, what is not possible for Shri Krishna at this moment? He says, Arjunasya moha, that moha, that the delusion which has arrived, reason in Arjuna, that can be removed by Bhagavan. And how? Anayasa sadhyam, it is with the effortlessly. Not that Shri Krishna has to struggle a lot. No, not at all. It is as easy as breathing. Anayasa sadhyam iti suchitam. This is what is indicated by the use of these two words, Rishikesh and Govinda. Evam yuddham upekshitavati Yuddham upekshitavati api Arjune Bhagavan nopekshitavan iti Dhritarashtra durasha nirasaya tam uvacha. Now he says, Sanjaya says, that do not allow your hopes to take roots over here. To whom? Dhritarashtra. Why? He says, tam uvacha. To this Arjuna who is disappointed, who is sinking in despair, to this Arjuna, Shri Krishna thus spoke. Why Arjuna wants to neglect the yuddha, his swadharma. He wants to give up what he is supposed to do. But Shri Krishna does not neglect. Bhagavan does not, no pekshitavan, does not ignore him. No pekshitavan. And hence he says tamuvacha. That tamuvacha has got this meaning. Senayoho upayor madhye युद्धोद्यमेन आगत्य तद्विरोधिनं विशालं मोहं प्राप्नुवन्तं तम् अर्जुनं प्रहसन्निव अनुचिताचरणप्रकाशेन लज्जाम्बुधो मज्जयन् इव ऋषिकेशः सर्वान्तर्यामी भगवान् idam vakshamanam. Okay, now comes the 10th verse. Let us recite it. Tamuvacha Rishikeshaha Tamuvacha Rishikeshaha Prahasanniva Bharata Prahasanniva Bharata Senayor Madhye Senayor Madhye Vishidantamidam Vachaha Vishidantamidam Vachaha Tam Arjunam Prati Rishikeshaha Uvacha. And how did his Rishikesha Bhagavan speak? Prahasanniva, as if smiling. Now that smile has a little mockery of Arjuna's despair. Prahasanniva Bharata. Senayoho Bhayor Madhya, and in middle of both the armies, in midst of both the armies, Senayoho Ubhayor Madhya, Vishidantam Arjunam Prati Idam Vachaha Bhagavan Rishikeshaha Vacha. This is how that entire verse is. Now Arjuna, who is Vishidantam, in despair, dejected Arjuna. To this Arjuna, Shri Krishna spoke. Idam Vachaha. These words he spoke. Okay. Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye. In between both the armies. What, Arjuna had come over there to supply food stock or what? To the armies. He had got contract of supplying. He had come over there. No. Obviously, Arjuna had come over there to defend the principles that he was standing for. The principles of dharma. So, justice, yuddham upeksha, senayoho ubhayor madhye, yuddhodhyamenagatya. He had come over there for what? Yuddhodhyama. Udyama means the very activity of fighting with a resolution to fight the battle. He arrives on the battlefield. It is not that somebody has prodded him, somebody has forced him, or anything. Yeah, he had arrived on his own with the resolution of fighting the battle. Tad virodhinam vishadam moham prapnuvantam. And over there, instead of that, he feeling inspired. Instead of feeling inspired and to do his duty, now Arjuna is overpowered by something that is exactly opposite, which is unrequired over there. And that is what? Vishad, the despair. Tam virodhinam vishadam. Vishadam means moham, delusion, wrong understanding. Vishadam moham prapnuvantam tam Arjunam prati prahasanniva. And Shri Krishna as if smiling. Prahasan. That smile has never departed Shri Krishna's lips. No matter what. That is the reason why even today, in most of the Hindu temples, you will find Shri Krishna smiling and playing a flute. Song, music, joy. The face is always radiant, not lackluster. Like with us, little bit of cold and cough and all that, and then immediately the person will become very this thing. What happened is some, Janma Janmantar Mahapap has arrived. Senayo, where that Prahasanniva, Shri Krishna's face is lit up with a smile. But why Arjuna is disappointed? He is in depression. And are you smiling at this? And Shri Krishna says, yes, very much at you. People feel, that somebody is crying. And you should have some sympathy for me. Hey, don't seek sympathy, seek way out of that misery. Don't wallow in that. Do not wallow in that. But in sympathy, people should have a little bit of. Don't go by these worldly standards at all. You keep your own standards. Standards are spiritual standards of living. Even if you are able to win somebody's sympathy, what great achievement. Will that take you out of misery? In fact, it will keep on nursing the misery more. So what is the point of having it? Even if you win somebody's sympathy and attention and all that. Next time also you will feel in order to have attention, I should become miserable, which means you are making your life, the philosophy of your life as misery. Don't worship suffering. Misery is not to be worshipped. Be worshipped Ananda, Sachidananda. Ananda Vastu is worshipful, not Dukkham. Prahasanniva. Why Prahasanniva? Anuchitacharana prakashena lajjam budhau majjayan iva. That Prahasanniva artha, the meaning of Prahasanniva is what Madhusudana Saraswati said, as if by with that smile, Shri Krishna is drowning Arjuna in shame. Lajjam budhau majjayanniva. Rishikesh, but why do you want to do that? He says this is the way to bring him out. Not making him feel that misery and that suffering is something to be adorned. Adored. No. Rishikeshaha sarvantaryami Bhagavan idam vakshamanam ashuchanityani vachaha parama gambhirartham. And then he is going to bring out what is parama gambhira, the most deep, the highest knowledge has to be imparted. Anuchita charana prakashtam uktavan natu upekshitavan ityarthaha. And over here also it means what? Even in that smile and in that mockery, it is not neglecting Arjuna. It is what? Natu upekshitavan. By doing that, he is trying to make Arjuna understand that what you are doing at this moment is anuchita, is unbecoming. Okay, is unbecoming. And so, uktavan, natu upekshitavan. This is not upeksha. This is not upeksha. Okay, no upekshitavan ityarthaha. What is called as Prahasanniva Bharata. So we want to know the meaning of Prahasanniva. The Prahasa. What is Prahasa? Because the one who is having Prahasa is Prahasanniva. He does, then it becomes a verbal form. So Anuchita Acharana Prakashanena, by bringing into light what? Anuchita Acharana, that what is wrong. wrong behavior by bringing into light that what is wrong behavior. Anuchita acharana prakashena lajjotpadanam prahasaha. By bringing into light the wrong behavior and thus generating a sense of shame is called as prahasa. This is mockery. Okay, this is called as mocking. This is mocking. Lajja cha dukhatmika iti dvesha vishaye eva samukhyah. Arjunasya tu bhagavad kripa vishayatvad anuchita acharana prakashanasya cha vivekotpatti hetutvad ekadala bhavena gaunam evayam prahasaha. But is that really a mockery that Sri Krishna is doing? Because for anything to be mockery, for any mockery to happen, there has to be two things. These two things, anuchita acharana, prakashana, and lajja utpadana. We will have these two components. Two components. One is bringing into light the wrong behavior, the wrong action. Okay, one. And another one is also making the person feel ashamed. Out of these two, one thing is missing. Shri Krishna does not want Arjuna to be put to shame. All that Shri Krishna wants over here for Arjuna is to understand what is wrong, what is unrequired. Okay? What is unrequired? Not in proper place. So Shri Krishna only wants him to have anuchita acharana prakasha. He wants him, Arjuna to be illumined about what is anuchita acharana. Not that he wants to put Arjuna to shame. And therefore that element of shame is missing. So this, whatever Shri Krishna does, is not exactly prahasa. It is not prahasa. Then what is it? Prahasa eva. It is as if mocking. It is not mocking. It is as if mocking. And therefore, even Sanjaya says, prahasan eva. As if smiling, as if mocking. Not mocking, as if. Why? Because the other dala, the other component is of shame is not there. Okay. Iti kathayitum iva shabdaha. Therefore, in the original shloka, we have iva as the word going with prahasan iva. Prahasan iva. Lajjam utpadayitum iva vivekam utpadayitum arjunasya anuchita acharanam bhagavata prakashyate. For somebody, an onlooker, it may feel as if he is making Arjuna feel ashamed. No, sir. In fact, what Sri Krishna is doing is lajja utpadayitum iva, as if creating shame. But really, what is that he is creating? Generating is vivekam utpadayitum. In order to generate viveka, understanding in Arjuna. Therefore, to shake away that sense, the tamoguna is inducing this, what do they call? Prahasa. Anuchita acharanam bhagavata prakashate. लज्जोत्पत्तिस्तु नान्तरीयकतया अस्तु मास्तु वा न विवक्षिता इति भावः. Okay. Then यदि हि युद्धारंभात् प्रागेव गृहे स्थितो युद्धम् उपेक्ष्येत तदा अनुचितं नानुचितं कुर्यात्. Say suppose if Arjuna, before gathering all the forces from the from the from the last point of Indian peninsula right up to all country, the whole country, the various kings of small and big territories had joined forces either with Pandavas or Kauravas. It was just not about two little kingdoms fighting, but the entire country was involved at that time. The entire geographical region had joined forces. And therefore, he had Arjuna to make the decision that we will not fight the war even 24 hours before, and dispatched all of those armies to go back. It was still okay. But now that you have arrived on the battlefield, the battle is announced. Even you have given your consent by blowing your conch, and then suddenly you decide to withdraw. No. Mahata samrambhena yuddhabhumau agatya tad upekshanam ati anuchitam iti kathayitum senayoho ityadi visheshanam etaccha ashocha anityado spashtam bhavati. Now, this is anuchitam. But why is it anuchitam? Why should it be wrong? Why should it be wrong? So now it will become more clear as we look at the next shloka. Is what Madhusudan Saraswati says. So look at number 11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Ashocyanan Vashochastvam. Ashocyanan Vashochastvam. Prashyavadanshcha bhashase. Prashyavadanshcha bhashase. Gatasuna gatasunshcha. Gatasuna gatasunshcha. Nanushocanti panditaha. Nanushocanti panditaha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Now, this is, so far it was Sanjaya was saying, but now Sanjaya says directly Bhagavan's quotations. So, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the Blessed Lord spoke. Ashochan anvashojastvam. Anvashojastvam, you are grieving over what? That which is not worthy of grief. You are grieving over those with what all those who are not worthy of grief, not to be grieved upon. Tvam, and prajnavadanshcha bhashase. So also to cream, top it up with some cream. The icing is that you are philosophizing it. Prajnavadanshcha bhashase. Gatasunshcha. Why? Because panditaha na anushocanti. The panditas, the enlightened ones, the wise ones, do not grieve. On what do they do not grieve about? About the people who have died or who have still not died. You can have grief only about these two. Some sort of sorrow regarding these two kind of people. One who have died and one who have yet not died. Means they are still living. Gatasu, asu means pranas. The one whose pranas have left, gatasu. And those who are agatasu, those whose pranas have yet not left. So in whichever case, whether the person is alive or the person is dead, person in the sense whatever is the situation, it means whatever is the situation, there is no reason for grief. In Sri Krishna's vision, there is no place for misery at all. And if you still complain about misery and glorify that misery, then you are not a pandita, but you're just what? Speaking as if you are very intelligent. You are not wise, but talking as if you are wise. Nanushocanti pandita. Pandita means wise, a wise person. The wise people do not grieve about anyone, even if that person is not dead, no. And not even why he is not dying, not even because of that. Na Anushocanti. And therefore, what is the status of this world? Status of this world is there are people who have yet not died, and the people who have died, that is what is the total population of the world. Is not it? The population of people who have died is way far more than the people who have yet not died. So if you decide to cry over the people who you will have no time to spare at all. But any which case, people who have died are also not for whom you should be grieving, nor should you be grieving or suffering because of people who are still there and alive. And therefore there is no reason. They are all ashocha. They are shocha means because where the grief or the suffering, misery is justified. Shocha, worthy of it. It is not worthy. Ashocha. For those who are ashocha, what are you doing? Anushochasi. You are crying for that, for which you should never ever cry, because it is not worthy of that. Prajnava, actually, which means that this business of misery in Shri Krishna's evaluation or for the Upanishad, there is no place for. And then people who are constantly in dukkham, what is their case? Their case is that they are not wise. They are not wise means they are not jnani. Then who are they? Who are such people? Ajnani, the ignorant. And therefore, what do we understand from the Shri Krishna statement is the enlightened ones, the wise ones, do not have misery, and the ones who have misery are ignorant ones. So now, by this division, what do we understand? Where there is knowledge, there is no grief. there is no misery. And where there is ignorance, there is dukkham. So where is dukkham? Only in ignorance. Where the ignorance is not, dukkham is not there. Okay. So division is very, very clear. Knowledge, no dukkham. Ignorance, only dukkham. Okay. अब दुख कहाँ है? अज्ञान में। ज्ञान में दुख है नहीं, क्योंकि ज्ञानी को दुख नहीं होता जो अज्ञानी। ज्ञानी को दुख नहीं होता, दूसरा पलट के देखो तो क्या अर्थ बनता है? दुख अज्ञानी को ही होता है। तो दुख एंड अज्ञान आर ऑलवेज टुगेदर, and knowledge and freedom from dukkha is always together. Correct? What is the real bondage? The real bondage is bondage of dukkham only. Where is bondage? In ignorance. And where is freedom from bondage? In knowledge. So knowledge is that which gives the freedom. And ignorance is that in which there is bondage. Bandhana. So easily now you can choose between this, whether one wants to stay ajnani or one wants to strive to eradicate ignorance. Ordinarily, people say we want to eradicate dukkham. But people do not understand that it is dukkham just does not go by changing situations, by making different arrangements around you. Dukkham goes away when the ignorance goes away. And therefore, the choice now is whether to stay ignorant or whether to strive to eradicate ignorance. That is the only, these are the only two choices. And these choices are available only to human beings. This choice a buffalo does not have. Only a human being. Ashochananvashocastvam prajna vadascha bhashase gatasuna gatascha nanushocanti panditaha. Tatra Arjunasya yuddhakhye swadharme swato jatapi pravritti. Now this pravritti of Arjuna, his resolution to fight the battle, is not somewhere that Shri Krishna has convinced Arjuna to fight. Go Arjuna, fight. In fact, when once during their discussions much before the war, and it's, you know, that arrangements and allies were sought, there was a discussion in which they said, let us not fight the battle. That time, Draupadi comes, and Draupadi says, I am a woman and I am offended. I was insulted. I was dragged into the royal court when I was improperly dressed. Ekavastra. I was improperly dressed and I was dragged. I'm the eldest daughter-in-law of that royal family, and I should have been brought by laying carpets under my feet or whatever. As a woman, they should have brought me with respect. But instead, Dushasana dragged me by pulling my hair when I was improperly dressed. into the court where all the men and elders were also sitting. And they have watched this woman being brought like this. And they did not just stop over there, but they wanted to pull my cloth. I want my justice. And Draupadi, after that incident, she had openly declared that I will not tie my hair into a knot or even plait my hair till I have washed my hair with the blood of this Duryodhana, Dushasana. Ugra, ferocious. And when these people said, let us not fight, we will do some sort of a compromise, etc. Draupadi said, compromise you people do, I will not. Draupadi is an independent woman. And she, when all these Pandavas are thus talking, she goes to Shri Krishna and says, what will you do? With tears in her eyes, she asks Shri Krishna, what will you do? Shri Krishna at that time said, you will tie your hair, which means that is, yes, justice will be given to you. You will get your justice, Draupadi. Then all these brothers, 5 of them suddenly came to senses and they said, no, we have to fight for justice. So this is Arjuna's decision. Nobody has convinced him, nobody has propelled him, not even Draupadi, his own wife. Not even Kunti. They have made a right decision, saying that this is our duty to stand for justice and we will seek it. And for this justice, if we need to punish the wrongdoers, they will be punished. And if that punishment means fighting the war, it will be fought. So it is Arjuna's decision. Yuddhakhe swadharme swato jatapi pravritti. The pravritti for fighting the battle is a resolution, a decision that Arjuna himself has made. And therefore, but this pravritti vividhena mohena pratibandha. This pravritti of Arjuna suddenly got pratibandha, bound by what? By twofold delusion. Vividhena mohe. Now this part is very interesting and very nice. Vividhena mohena pratibandha. And therefore now, for Shri Krishna as the teacher, what has he got to do? He does not have to inspire Arjuna for battle. All that is there is to remove the moha. If the moha is gone, Arjuna's pravritti is already there. He does not have to generate any pravritti. So those people who are saying that Shri Krishna has convinced Arjuna to fight the battle, they are totally wrong. Shri Krishna is not there telling Arjuna, go fight, go fight. All that Shri Krishna is doing is to remove the twofold delusion. This is the delusion which is preventing the pravritti, yuddhakhya pravritti. And this yuddhakhya pravritti is swato jata. Is swato jata, is born in Arjuna by itself. So now we have to see what is this twofold delusion. And then the entire Gita becomes clear, because where does Sri Krishna hit? What kind of delusion? How it is shattered? We need to see that. That is all that we need. Because, and by through Arjuna, we will all understand that this is all common even with us. Okay? How it is common to every person, every being, and how that is being brought and how Shri Krishna deals with it. Let's see when we meet next. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashikatau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar. Thank you all.
Oh.